It's time to eat Oro. Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. You may notice I am dressed up right now. I'm looking particularly fancy. Well, that is because I am treating myself. That's right, it is a night in, a fancy night in. And I ordered Oro pasta. I don't know if pasta is at the end of Oro, but Oro from Hatch Cafe. Hatch Cafe is a host for pop-up food shops. So they got a whole bunch of little tiny restaurants in there. These kinds of things are popping up more across the United States. Annandale, for instance, has the Spot. There's a couple in New York that I used to visit. And it's just a chance for experimental or smaller places to get their foot in the door. Oro in Hatch Cafe is only open Sunday and Monday from 5 to 8. So that's how you know a place is going to be good, when the hours are inconvenient for the rest of us. I went ahead and I got the whole menu. They give you that option. And every single week, they change everything up. So by the time you're watching this, it will not be the same thing. But I'm willing to bet it'll be just as good. And I am so excited to get into this because I have barely eaten anything today. I lifted and I got an appetite. So, a mangia, which I believe is Italian for begin, or eat, or eat. We begin. We start off with the sweet potato dish. Now, you'll have to pardon me. I plated it as best I could. I realized on the way that this would not exactly be doing this justice. Oh, I do not have a knife, and I only have a plastic fork. So pardon the presentation. However, this is kind of how you folks would be eating it at home. So, you know. Sweet potato with onion verde. Commence. That's very good. Important to note, it is a white sweet potato, which will have a little bit of a milder flavor. That onion reduction, that onion sauce, really, really good. It's a little bit sweet, kind of complement the sweet potato. What I can tell you, it is a very, very good antipasti. I won't spend too much time on this though, because I'm eyeing these ribs, and I am so hungry right now. So sweet potato, you get to wait until I actually eat my meal. This is something I've been looking forward to for a while. These ribs. Now, I'm not going to eat the decorated one. Instead, I'm going to have the one with less leaves on it, just because it'll be a little less messy, and I try to spare the viewers my nasty eating habits. Miss Manners says, there's only a couple things that you can eat with your hands and still be polite. She didn't say anything about ribs, but maybe she should amend it. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, I have to finish this rib. That's such a good rib. I've not actually had ribs that aren't of a sort of barbecue style ribs. I'm guessing this is sort of an Italian seasoning ribs. It is absolutely delicious. It is so tender, so flavorful. It is everything that you want with ribs. Turn me up. So we move on to the Bolognese. Usually what I try to do is I try to get my first bite on camera to give you a very honest reaction. I'm going to admit, I had a couple bites off camera. This Bolognese is some of the best Bolognese I've ever had. I'll take a bite and then describe it in a second. With Bolognese, a lot of them are tomato sauce based. This bolognese is not. So usually what it is, it's just a big, giant, acid umami bomb. And while it is good, it can be very, very heavy. Comfort foodish. This is not. This is almost like a light bolognese. And it is so good. This veal is unbelievable. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So, the noodles they made, I'm assuming they are homemade, or rather, Oro made. They are absolutely incredible. They're absolutely delicious. This is tier 1 bolognese. And it's not kind of what you'd expect from bolognese. This even has like a little bit of a kick to it. And it is very reasonably seasoned. So far, so good. Oro is cheering me up. The food is so good that I'm forgetting I'm stressed out and in a bad mood. And isn't that what pasta's all about? Carbs are all about, if we want to get all memey and internet culture. Ooh, I just love carbs. I mean, I like carbs too, but you know what I like to do when I describe food? I don't boil them down to their nutrients. You know what's really refreshing right now? Some vitamin C. Is it? I mean, it is. But it's not the vitamin C. There are bad carbs. If you were to go to the park and eat the crumbs people threw for pigeon and geese, those are carbs. These are carbs too. Very different category. Pepperdale. That is so good. That is just tremendous. This is absolutely delicious. I might like this even better than the bolognese, which is saying something because I'm a huge, huge veal fan. But I mean, this is, whew, that's good stuff. We move on to the Piet De Resistance. If that's even the correct term. Clean off my table here. We move on to the final dish. It's got some clams, some pasta stuff in it. Woo! So, I did not plate this one, so pardon me. Presentation is not quite as nearly as nice as those, just because it's very seafood stewy. Hey, Brian! Boo. But there's clams and there's pasta, and basically I'm going to stick my fork in and goodness is going to come out. Now, I'm not a huge clam guy, but some people are. And these are cooked to perfection. Wow, 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 wow. This sauce is unbelievable. What's interesting is while pasta is very much a comfort food, all of these kind of have spring seasoning, if that makes sense. Like, all of these are things that I would very much like to eat as the weather continues to get warmer. And so that's just tremendous how they're able to kind of capture those seasonal ingredients. Whew! That's so good. Which one do I like the best? I don't even know. I don't even know. Well, I've had a taste of all of my dishes. They were all absolutely fantastic. But it's time for these Ricotta Donuts. Donut is a very generous term for this. This is more like it's got more of a funnel cakey texture. Not a complaint, just an observation. Wow. These are absolutely delicious. This chocolate sauce that they made is very good. And I'm a big fan. Holy moly. A bene. Oro absolutely rules. I am a huge, huge fan. This is the second time that I got their whole menu. Second time in a row they've blown me away. And I guess it is the answer to the question. And that question is, can you get good Italian takeout? A lot of foods kind of lose their desirability the further away they get from the restaurant. For instance, a hamburger, great at a place, terrible when you bring a hamburger home because the fries get all soggy, the bun gets all messed up. Italian food, I'd say loses probably about 15% of its desirability. Pizza loses none of it, but Italian food loses 10 to 15%. And in these unprecedented, trying times, it's hard to actually like go out and get something to eat. But Oro provides a solution, and it's neatly packaged and absolutely delicious. And I recommend checking them out. Yeah, Google Oro. They're on Instagram. Find Hatch Cafe. Also, they're not a sponsor. I'm not sponsored by anyone. These are independent reviews. But if you'd like to sponsor me, I can be bought. I am going to turn the cameras off now and enjoy my meal. So thank you so much for watching, and I don't know how to sign off.